Whoa. Yet again, GM, BA, you rascal, you dog, you. Stealing the headlines of the NHL entry draft yet again. Last year, it was day 2. This year, it's a couple of days in advance, but Utah, last year the Hockey Club, this year the Mammoth, are at it again, stealing the headlines with another blockbuster move. It was Mikhail Sergachev last year, and this year, it's JJ Paterka bringing his talents to Salt Lake. Oh my goodness, Kenny. What's your initial reaction?
First off, let me just get ahead of this. I am just wrapping up my shift at work, and it was like a madman on my phone for the last hour, just refreshing the screen, and I was probably not the best bartender tonight, but hey, so be it. These things kind of happen. This is massive. Now, another thing I want to get ahead of. I know a lot of people are going to be upset with this. I know a lot of people, the sticker shock kind of, it kind of hurts a little bit, right? And I get it. I remember when I was first a fan of the Arizona Coyotes, or then Phoenix Coyotes, the first trade that they made, it killed me. It shook me, right? I was like, this is a guy that I've known and loved, blah, blah, blah. You know, it was really, really hard because it was one of the first departures for the team that I just fell in love with. So it's going to happen. We didn't really have any major departures last year besides Vlad Kolyachonok and Shea Weber, but that's not really newsworthy. But this is a massive deal, guys. This is a massive steal. This is a guy that nearly put up 70 points. He would be close to top. I think he's top 3 on our team if he played for the Mammoth this year, right? And now he's signed long term, and the contract is extremely reasonable. 7.7, is that what it is?
Yep, 7.7 on a 5-year term.
7.7 for number 77.
Yep.
That's guys, this is crazy. This is again, I know it hurts. Josh Stone, that one rattled me a little bit, being a fan of that family for so long, and seeing how hard he busts his ass. I'm sorry, guys, this is going to be a little bit of a dirty clean hits episode, just because it's after hours, but that's going to be tough to see. I wish him nothing but the best at Buffalo. I think he's going to be a perennial third line player and a player that you can win a cup with just based off of his personality and playing style. Kessel King, that hurts to lose too. He's beloved in the locker room, and really, really stepped up in the absence of Marino and Durzi in the beginning of the year, and showed that he has the true potential to be a bona fide top 4 right shot defenseman. That being said, you have to look at this in a vacuum and just say, look, we got a young, cost-controlled potential 70 point player for the foreseeable future on a team that needed more offense. And Billy Strongarms did it. He did it again. Like you said, I'm in shock. I'm sorry that I'm not like the best at articulating all this right now, but I see all the comments in here. We love you guys. We appreciate you. We're just as in shock as you guys are. So you're going to have to watch us stumble through this a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is a trade that tears your heart out a little bit. I mean, listen, I'm wearing the Kachina tonight. I'm wearing the Road Runners hat tonight. I think for us ex-Coyotes fans, this is a bit of a heartbreaker, right? I mean, it's Josh Stone for crying out loud. It's the King, friend of the show, Kessel King, who was an amazing guest on Clean Hits. And I think that it's one that's not easy to process until you really start to think about it. We didn't switch pick number 4 for pick number 9. We got a guy who at age 23 would have been the second leading scorer on the team last year. It's got a guy who, had a crazy shooting percentage a little bit last season with 27 goals, but the year before that he had 28 goals on a Buffalo team both years that left a lot to be desired. A guy who didn't have a whole lot of help, a dual threat offensive player who needs a little bit of help defensively, but not a guy whose effort or heart was challenged too often in his young career. A guy with good motor, who maybe isn't the king of the back check yet, isn't the most defensively responsible player, but he's going to be insulated on a much better team, a much better total team defense. Josh Doan is the absolute man. You feel for him. He's had a lot of upheaval in his young career, from the storybook season of playing for the Arizona State Sun Devils, then playing for the Tucson Roadrunners, then playing for the Arizona Coyotes, just for a few games there at the end of the season. Oh my gosh, what a storybook. Then that farewell game where we knew they were leaving and Josh Doan's out there. It hurts. It hurts. But this is no longer the Arizona Coyotes. This is fully the Utah Mammoth. And Greg Wyshynski said it best. Renaming the team wasn't the most we're no longer the Coyotes moment. It was trading Josh Doan tonight. But to get a potential star player and JJ Paterka for Josh Doan, who's a hell of a depth player. I mean, the motor on him, the stick on him, he's such a high effort, quality player, quality human being. You lose Michael Kesselring, who Buffalo fans will remember for his Gordie Howe hat trick, for the hardest shot that was quickly overtaken by Tage Thompson. This is a guy who has a ton of upside as well as a right-hand shot defenseman, something that the Sabres desperately needed. It's a trade that, frankly, was pretty light on the return for Paterka, I think, from a Buffalo perspective. But you're getting two high character, high compete, depth players that can really solidify your lineup. You're losing a high end piece, high skill piece in JJ Paterka. So I think that, if you're a Sabres fan tonight, it's probably a little bit tough. Maybe not as tough as part of the Donor Nation.
I know. I'm gonna go out and get I'm gonna go out and gas one of those pink Red Bulls for you guys at 9:55 Arizona time, just to pay homage.
Yeah, I saw SLC Puck pour one out for him. Hey, friend of the show, Rocco's. Okay. Friend of the show, Rocco Zappia. How excited are we to get this done without 4th overall? I'm in shock, man. I can't believe it. Only the Buffalo Sabres would it be possible for us to trade just the two depth players to get Paterka back and not have to swap picks, not have to trade outright. I was panicking. Oh my gosh, they wouldn't put Tej Ginla in this deal, would they? And then to have the signing already completed at the culmination of the deal and have it be so damned reasonable, 7.7 for 5 years for Paterka. And
in a rising cap.
Yeah, with the rising cap, and we get to keep all those key pieces that we really didn't want to give up. Is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I agree, and it is kind of funny when we texted the group chat. We were all busy doing stuff tonight. Trent was coaching. I think Brad's at a dinner. I think Corey's going to sleep for 4 hours. I'm just kidding. I know Corey's probably up, but and I'm obviously working, and I felt a text and I opened it up and I just laughed out loud because it was such a Trent thing to say. We better not have included the 4th overall pick in this. This is crazy. And the fact that there was no pick swap, this was truly just players for player. it's pretty incredible. That's almost unheard of. I'm struggling to come up with a good comp for this trade. Two younger, maybe not stars, traded for a potential young star signed to an extension. Like I said, I have so much respect for, and I think that he is going to be a player that will not only get you to the playoffs, but help you get through the playoffs. Kesselring, I think it's found money if you think about it, guys. Like, we got Kesselring for free by trading Nick Bjugstad to the Oilers, and then we re-signed Nick Bjugstad. So it's like the trade never happened. We just were gifted a Kesselring, and it was just so nice to see what he turned into. And I'm gonna miss that. It's gonna be hard, but these trades just don't happen. And for any Buffalo fans that are watching, I do want to give you a little bit of comfort. First off, what are you doing watching us? You were kind of backed into a corner. I mean, you got a young, disgruntled player that had no intention of signing. The other 31 teams know that is a severe disadvantage and will use that as leverage. So you never know. This could be the best offer that I would assume it's the best offer that they received, and you're getting two quality players. But this is a crazy good value deal, and now the focus changes to filling the holes that we now have. I did see somebody earlier, and I wish that I would have highlighted it, but here it is right here. So who do you think replaces Kess? And is that Simashev? I would say that's unlikely. You want to have a good balance of left-handed shot and right-handed shot defensemen. Now, there are plenty of defensemen out there that can play both sides, and some prefer to be on their offside when it comes to their shot. But more often than not, you want three left-hand shots, three right-hand shots to balance out your defense. So I'm assuming that this hole that's now left is either A, going to be filled by Maverick Lamoureux, who may have just been said, "Hey, it's your time to shine now. Show us what you can do." And kind of be put in a position that Kesselring was put in, where he's given a lot of minutes as a young player, and you have to go out and prove yourself. Prove to everybody why you were a first round pick. On the flip side, this offseason is young yet. This is crazy. Yeah. We're not even at the draft, right? We still have the 4th overall pick, but will we? I mean, look at that. I was going to read the name, but I think everybody can read it. Dobson, 4th overall. I would personally.
Hell no.
Yeah, I would
hell no. The answer is hell no.
Yeah.
Damn it, Kenny. No. No.
No,
Dobson.
I think I told you that in the group chat, actually. Dobson's great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not fully convinced on him. That could have been a flash in the pan season he had. I
think he's a great player. It's just the wrong fit, man.
Exactly.
Listen, you get one defenseman per power play. You get 2 power play units. We've got Jersey. We've got Sergachev. We don't need Dobson. We just don't. Period. You don't need Dobson when that's your lineup. It's tinkering at that point. Yeah, like maybe he is a stronger overall player than Jersey, perhaps. I could see that, but we're locked into Jersey long term. The marginal upgrade on the power play, I don't see it, man. Not for 4th overall, not for what it would cost to bring in Dobson. That's not what I would want to do personally. I mean, hey, if they swing a trade for a star defenseman, I'll be a happy guy, happy to bring him in.
Corey from the top ropes. This guy's nuts. This guy's an animal. Yeah.
So to me, no Dobson. If you want to swing big on a right-hand defenseman, I can see him doing Aaron Ekblad now. I don't think he's coming back to Florida. Jeff Merrick was talking about Aaron Ekblad on the sheet, and I was like, how the hell does Aaron Ekblad make any sense? Well, he does now. It's kind of like how when we picked Tija Ginla and Cole Baudouin, I was like, I mean, it's great to add Tija Ginla and Cole Baudouin, but we really needed a defenseman. What the hell? And then the next day, boom, Sergachev and Marino. So I think at this point, Aaron Ekblad suddenly does make a little bit of sense. If the price is right and the term is right, that would be a fun pickup. I mean, he was a bastard for the Panthers in the playoffs. He brings a lot to the table. He's not the healthiest guy in the world, but you've got Maverick Lamoureux coming up as well to kind of bolster that. John Marino's contract is expiring after next season, I think. So you have some options there. So I think there's a lot of options available on the right side of defense if you want to add. I'd probably not necessarily throw Lamoureux right into the fire. He's a player I think who still has some development left. I saw him down in Tucson. He looked great, but he's a player I thought maybe looked even a little bit better at the NHL level than he did at the AHL level, which tells me that there's a little bit of development left there. I'd be okay taking it slow with him and signing a little bit of a more advanced player. What do you think, Kenny?
Yeah, I agree. But in turn, I mean, we think about what happened with Kesselring. Now, Kesselring did have a lot of minor league experience and is older than Lamoureux is. So I could see them saying, hey, you know what, we're hoping for a healthy blue line this year. No surprise injuries. It's going to keep people out 30 to 40 games like last year. Let Lamoureux take over that bottom pairing right shot. I could see a scenario where that would play out, but the more I talk about it, the more I remember that this is a push all your chips to the center of the table. This is make playoffs or bust. And
yep.
I don't know if Bill Armstrong, after trading two young players that he clearly sought out and helped develop, would take a risk of having a potential Achilles heel in such a pivotal year and in such a important position. So I now that you mentioned Ekblad, at first I'm like, I don't know. I think he's aging poorly. He, like you said, he's not all that healthy, but he's a multiple Stanley Cup winner, proven winner, and Bill Armstrong has talked about that. They go after players that are proven winners and that fit the age group, and he does. He's not old by any means. I mean, he's 29. So he's a little bit on the older side, but if you can sign him for a short-term deal and just stack up the AAV, maybe he does consider it. But I definitely don't think that the moves are over this week.
No, and we'll just have to ask Dexter what the next move is, right? Dexter Damas. We have Flo Stradamus in the Discord. We've got Dexter Damas in the Discord as well. Right. Dexter, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? You're calling the trades, and I definitely feel this one too, Dexter. The head is stoked, the heart is in shambles. I feel that. Yeah. I mean, it hurts so much to lose two such quality people, and I think that's something that we got to think about too for the Buffalo Sabres, right? Like, something stinks up there in Buffalo. What the hell? Right? They can never get any better. They add talent. It doesn't seem to matter. They lose talent. It doesn't seem to matter. They're just stuck in this like quagmire, this pit of wallowing cesspool depression of a team that never gets any better, and it sucks. And I hate to send Kesselring and Doan into that, but man, if you need character pieces, if you need guys who are going to help lift you up through hard times, if you need work boots players who bring talent, who bring motor, and who bring character in absolute spades, just two awesome dudes, just really great guys that can help turn around a culture in Buffalo. I think you got two of them in Doan and Kesselring. So hopefully this turns into a win-win. Hopefully these are the missing ingredient in Buffalo to get that ship righted. I mean, the thing has been listing forever. It's been sinking forever, if we're honest. You get a couple of hard workers there to help bail the damn water out, get this ship righted, and sailing toward the playoff push again. Hopefully Buffalo can take some big swings out there. I mean, I don't know if they're a really desirable market, but if they can fill in some talent somehow through some other moves, I don't know that they really need to keep that 9th overall pick. Trade it, baby. Bring in some more scoring. You've got Doan, you've got Kesselring, you've got some good prospects coming up. I really like some of the pieces they've added to the prospect pool that can help push them forward. I think McLeod was a good add from a character perspective too. Like, maybe they need to really just fill in the gaps. And now that they've added some character.
Yeah, it certainly makes the Toronto and Buffalo rivalry a lot more interesting now, doesn't it? With Josh Doan or playing against his father's team. That's going to be fun to watch. Josh Doan's going to be a Maple Leaf in no time, by the way. But no, I'm saying that tongue in cheek, kind of. But it's certainly true that it looks to me that Buffalo is not rebuilding yet again. They're retooling. They just added 2 young pieces to their core, and I could absolutely see them trade the 9th overall pick for some immediate help. I no longer think that Tage Thompson is available at all. I know that we talked about that last podcast, but Buffalo's going to try to aggressively pursue this. They added some experience to their front office. Kevin Adams needs that. I'm curious to see who pulled the trigger on this deal. Not saying that, and not trying to discount the 2 players that we lost, but you're right. Something just smells off there, and can't quite figure it out what it is. But good thing is I only have one team to worry about now, and that's the Utah Mammoth, who just got significantly better tonight. So I'm curious what you think is going to happen. Your gut reaction, do you see another move coming before the draft on Friday?
I mean, this is a freaking blockbuster, dude, right? We just picked up a 23-year-old kid who had 27 and 28 goals respectively the last 2 seasons for the fucking Sabres, who suck. So like, pretty good. You sign him to a 5-year 7.7 with the rising cap. Pretty good. I don't know that you really need to make another blockbuster. I mean, I was sitting there getting antsy because we were missing out on like Mason Marchment. I'm like, we couldn't beat the Mason Marchment price. I mean, come on, like we had bigger things cooking than that. I love Brent's idea here of trading up for Michael Misa. I mean, that would be a hell of a blockbuster on draft day to move up to 2nd overall and pick Misa. I don't know if I see it coming. We have seen in the last couple of years teams move from like 13th to 12th and just move like 1 spot up. So if the Sharks take Frondell and Misa's there and Chicago doesn't see him as a right fit, I mean, I don't know if Chicago would do that, but it'd be cool to trade up for Misa. That would be unreal. Imagine that talent add. Paterka and Misa in the same week. Holy shit, that'd be crazy. One thing is for sure, though, I do not see them shooting for Porter Martone at 4th overall here. Wingers are awful. We're good. We've got Keller, we've got Gunther, we've got Boot, we've got Iginla, we've got Paterka, it goes on and on. No need for Martone. Yeah, let's pick up a center at number 4 or higher.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's a good call by you, Hockey Herd. I think my gut's telling me if we're staying at number 4, it's going to be Desnoyers. A lot of smoke around Brady Martin in the previous weeks, and I don't see that being
I see it more
no longer a possibility.
I see it more now. Hey, we just traded those character pieces in Kesselring and Donor. We just picked up even more skill. That's kind of average size in Paterka. I mean, dude, we've got so much skill on the wing. You add a little bit more snarl and Brady Martin, who's not unskilled himself, right? As much of a good goal scorer as Paterka is, he's a really good playmaker too. I think Martin is a kind of a dual threat, but he plays that bumper role on the power play. He's that net front piece that we've been missing. He's another right shot center, which we really need as well. Paterka is another left shot winger. I don't know, dude. Like Martin up the middle could be pretty damn sick. I mean, you've got Holeee on line 1. You've got Barrett Hayton waiting there as well. Is he a 2? Is he a 3? Is Martin a 2? I don't know, man. I kind of like the idea of Martin, maybe even a little bit more now.
Well, you actually, that's a great point. I didn't think about that aspect of it, and it's so funny because if you think about the player that we just traded away, his father Shane Doan is a notorious farm boy, and just one of those guys, great character guy, grew up on a farm, hard work and all that. I mean, all we hear about is Brady Martin with his friggin' meat farm. I forgot what he's got there. But
he's got chickens, cows, pigs, the whole nine.
Sergachev's going to be at his house all the time. You know, he's got all his chickens and everything. But now that you mention it, it actually isn't that crazy of an idea to almost immediately say, hey, you know what, losing Doan hurts, but we got a natural center who's got high offensive upside and is going to have the same work ethic as Doan does right now. So while it's temporary, it's pain, it's temporary pain because Brady Martin will be on the roster 3 years from now if we do pick him. So that's just my gut, but actually makes a lot of sense. So my gut feeling is they stick and pick at 4. I don't think that we're going to see any trade before the 4th overall selection is announced, and that would be by Utah. But this makes free agency so much more interesting, and it's going to be very intriguing to see the names that are being rumored out there. I do think Ekblad is a very real possibility, but we're also in the market and actively searching for a goalie right now, right? Like the goalie market is very, very thin right now. I think Jake Allen is the best one available via free agency. So I don't know. I keep going back and forth, but hey, this is late night clean hits after hours, so you're going to have to deal with it. The idea that there could be another trade coming before or during the draft actually makes a lot of sense when you think that they are actively looking to plug a hole in the goaltending position. So I don't know. It could be a wild couple days, guys. A really, really wild couple days. Levi for O'Brien and Cole.
So here's the thought too, right?
Just keep going back to Kevin Adams. That well is not dry yet.
John Tavares is slow of foot. It's been a struggle his whole career, and he's not getting any faster at his age. JJ Paterka can buzz around out there, man. You know what I mean? It's like another fleet of foot winger. I don't know. That'd be kind of an interesting signing too. You know, I think Tavares probably ultimately ends up staying in Leafland, but if they're having a hard time with Matty Nyes and he's going to end up costing a lot more than they banked on, I don't know. If Tavares hits free agency, I think that Paterka just made Utah even more desirable for free agents. I mean, this team was knocking right on the door of the playoffs, despite injuries on the blue line. And despite a less than elite offense, right? They struggled for goals and they just picked up a whole whack of them. There's a bunch more talent up front now in that top 6. And I could see Utah being even more desirable now. I don't know that the free agents were scrambling to come here because of great depth like Doan and Kesselring. I think suddenly adding another offensive star up front is going to have the league stand up and take notice here. So are they even more of a threat at the free agent market with the deep pockets and plenty of cap space and the bright future? Maybe they can add another piece.
Yeah, and I think
it's a testament to Utah and this fan base. So give you all of yourselves a pat on the back here. That he didn't want to sign in Buffalo, but he agreed to an extension before being dealt to Utah. He believes in the team, most likely believes in the market. I'm sure he's done his research before he agreed to sign a massive contract like that. And so it's a testament to Utah, the organization and the fan base, that people do want to be here. And I think that, the addition of Paterka absolutely makes us a little more desirable in free agency. And it could even get us to the point where people, we could have our pick of the litter. People might be waiting for us to submit an offer to them. So free agency is going to be extremely interesting. I for one, want to prioritize a legitimate backup goalie or a 1-2 punch. Again, full marks to Connor Ingram, and I hope he's getting the help he needs and is taking care of himself. But I do think that there's a reason why our name is out there in the goalie market. And it's because this year is very important, and it's playoffs or bust. And so I'd be curious to see at the end of the day when our lines are drawn out, which is another thing I wanted to ask you. I want to see where you feel Paterka fits in this lineup. But when our lines are drawn out, what areas on this roster that Bill Armstrong has highlighted and said, this is our last missing piece? Is that the backup goaltender? Do we need a little bit more center depth down the middle, which I think that's coming as well. So is that being filled via trade, or is that something that they're willing to take the risk in free agency?
I think that for the goaltending position specifically,
we could start there. The goaltending position and center depth. I think those are.
I think goaltending is going to have to be a trade. There's nothing on the free agency market, right? Yeah. And I know that Bill Armstrong's been trying to shore up that position long term with a young goalie for quite some time. Vejmelka is signed long term now. Rappel's going back to college, so who knows there. I could see a bigger trade for a long-term goalie piece, even with the Vejmelka contract underway. I mean, Connor Ingram's the dark horse there. He's the mystery box. Who knows? I have a hard time guessing at what the solution is going to be at goalie. For center, what's that? Hofer, Swayman. I don't know what Boston's doing. Are they tanking? Are they going to tank? Are they going to try to get Gavin McKenna?
No, I don't see it.
Not at the risk of pissing off a player past Pasternak's and McAvoy's
stature, right? I mean,
those guys are corner pieces to any franchise. I don't think that McAvoy wants to waste away his prime on a rebuilding team. So I don't see Boston doing it. I just don't think that that's part of their DNA, but I could be wrong. I am wrong a lot. Ask my wife.
Well, we got all those 26 picks, so we can just go ahead and offer sheet Joel Hofer.
I love that idea. I think some Armstrong on Armstrong carnage would be so funny.
Yeah,
Especially because, hey, listen, St. Louis did it last year, right? They were the lucky recipients of
they were the villains.
yeah, they were the villains. Yep, they got two really good players from Edmonton, and Doug Armstrong's quote himself is like, "I'd do this to my own mother." Now
Yep.
he probably wouldn't feel great that his longtime assistant general manager and someone that he probably groomed to be a general manager and worked really hard with is turning around and doing the same to him. But Billy Strong Arms could just turn around and say, "Hey, I would do this to my own mother." So it's something to think about. I think a trade is more realistic for Hofer. I think that St. Louis doesn't want to make an ass out of themselves and not match an offer sheet. I think they would, unless it's like a ridiculous amount of money.
He was chest thumping about that. Dougie was about how they would match, and I'm like, dude, they can put his money where his mouth is.
I like the idea.
I
put
just
him in a bad situation.
Yeah, I don't know if he would like to be the guy that stole two players last year and everybody was singing his praises, and then all of a sudden the following year he loses a potential number one goalie of the future by not matching the sheet.
Yeah, make a match, overpay Hofer so they can't afford Braden Shen anymore, and then you lowball
the big brains on Trent. I like that one a lot.
And then we got Braden Shen holding Brady Martin's spot for him, keeping his seat warm,
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think there's other goalies in the DiPietro. Where's he at now? No, not Rick. Not Rick. The other goalie. Yeah.
I know. It just made me think of it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's a solution, though, man. I don't know. I think
he's garnering a lot of attention, kind of like Lindgren did, and Lindgren kind of came out of nowhere.
Here's something to think about here, though.
Okay.
Poor Kevin Adams, right?
Yes.
I mean, you're not going to get Tage Thompson out of him, but maybe the next guy, because it didn't come true for Tampa. But I want to talk a little bit about that third door, the Ottawa Senators, because I'm pretty sure the Ottawa Senators were the team that gave us the second round pick we used to draft Josh Doan.
Yes,
I think it was for Derek Stepan.
It was. It was Bill Armstrong's first trade.
And Stepan should not have got us a second round pick in return. We should have had to pay a second round pick to get rid of him. And instead we got Josh Doan, which is amazing because we just turned around and traded that for JJ Paterka, along with the pick we got for Nick Bukestad, or the player we got for Nick Bukestad, which was the Kesselring. So two absolutely free picks just turned in.
Dude, I'm thinking about we need to, after everything dies down this summer, we need to do a trade tree episode and really look at what Bill Armstrong has been able to pull off.
Because I'm pretty sure we just got Paterka basically for free. Because
if you think about it, we kind of
was Derek Stepan and Nick Bukestad returns. That's not bad. It's really not bad.
No, the ROI is insane. Yeah, he's a big ROI guy. I don't want to hear anything about John Cooper coming here and becoming our general manager like we were talking about way long ago. Bill Armstrong keeps making people look fucking silly, dude. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. He is, and I agree, boobies. I'm sorry, I had to say it. I agree. He's kind of cementing himself as a legitimate top general manager, and seems to be a highly respected and maybe even feared. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. You don't want to look down at your phone and see a call from Bill Armstrong. And because it's not going to end well. It's either he's going to ask you for a player that you never would have ever thought you would make available, or B, by the time you hang up, you're sitting there like, holy shit, what did I just do? And it's exciting, and I'm. It's so refreshing to see a general manager say, "Hey, playoffs are bust," and actually mean it. You know, there's so much lip service in the NHL nowadays, catering to fan bases, saying, "Oh, this wasn't our year, but next year, I promise." Blah blah blah. The last two drafts, he has put his money where his mouth is and said, "Hey, I know what it takes to win, and we're going to go out and get that." And think of the age group that these two stars are in. These guys are going to be significant contributors to Utah's long-term success moving forward.
Unbelievable. Another long-term contract for a prime-aged star player in Paterka a year after we did the same for Sergachev. And man, the draft is still a couple of days away. Hey, if you're in Arizona, like we are, come by and say hello. I just reserved the big table with the big TV at the Park Tavern, the AZ Ice in Gilbert.
So, I know that's why you were pissed off about the 4th overall being included. You're like, better not. I just reserved a massive table.
So there, Brad, Corey, well, not Corey, Brad, Kenny, and I. Corey will be in Toronto, but he'll be with us in spirit, unless he surprises us with an appearance. But it'd be a little bit crazy to leave Toronto for Arizona in this heat. But yeah, a few of the other locals from the Discord will be there. Tried to convince some big local hockey celebrities to come. I'm going to call them hockey celebrities. I think we can call Craig Morgan a hockey celebrity, but some of our pals in Gilbert, but they're unable to make it. Family commitments, really good excuses for not coming. But we'll see who else we can get to come. We've got some old friends from HF boards and some Discord members and others. So yeah, come out and join us in Gilbert this Friday if you're around. We'd love to see you.
Real quick.
Yes. First and foremost, we anytime we all get together, we have a lot of fun. So it would be really, really cool to see you. In fact, the first time I met Trent in person and Brad in person was at a draft party, the Logan Cooley draft. Actually, we had talked online for many years, and
a decade or something.
Built like an online friendship, and met them at a draft party, and the rest is history, right? But I did want to ask you before we end this: where do you see Paterka filling in on this in this lineup? Does he move up to a top line winger? Does he bump Gunther down? Does he solidify scoring on the second line? And now we have two 70-point players in the same position.
It's almost
embarrassing how like wealthy we are on the wing position, and the top six is crazy. I'm talking about top 6 forwards. Think about that. The first 2 lines are going to be lethal.
Yeah, I don't think we're done yet, man. I don't think we're done yet. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Wait,
So when you say that, so I don't think we're done either, but I don't think we're subtracting anything.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, you think from the top 6?
So Nick Schmaltz, is he definitely going to be here? And then, I don't think we're subtracting Barrett Hayton, but we could add a center that pushes him down the depth chart.
Marco Rossi, which is
so.
Yeah.
Corey Happy. Corey Happy.
But I also,
I don't know. I don't see us.
Flo Stradamus is in the chat. She wants 11 and 77 on the same line, dude. Like a kid line. What do you think? You think that we would do Paterka, Holeee, Gunther, just a kid line? I mean, Keller and Schmaltz had great chemistry. I think Hayton is just the right amount of muscle and beef on that line to go to the dirty areas and be the plumber for those boys. You could do Keller, Hayton, Schmaltz, and you could do a kid line, Paterka, with Holeee and Gunther.
okay.
Hey, it's Pat. What's up, Pat?
What's up, Pat?
Speaking of draft party,
Come to the draft party, Pat. You gonna be there?
Yeah.
Say in the chat. Say in the chat if you're coming, Pat.
You are being sequestered.
sir. I don't know if making or moving Schmaltz makes any sense at this point. I mean, he's another 60 point.
Yeah, Pat's gonna be there.
Let's go.
All right,
let's go. I'll save a couple of these for you. But I don't know if Schmaltz or moving Schmaltz makes a lot of sense. I mean, he's entering the final year of his contract.
Yeah.
He's not going to be
Keep
at
him.
he's not going to be the highest value when you're entering in the highest year of the final year of your contract. You are the most motivated to play extremely well so that you can guarantee yourself a bag for the next contract. And he's got tremendous chemistry. He may not look like your prototypical playoff player, but we have other players for that, right? The other thing is I don't know who would trade for Schmaltz right now. And if we do trade him,
60-point player, prime of his career,
No, I'm not.
dirt cheap contract.
No.
I'm not saying that people don't want him. I'm saying I can't think of a team that would specifically target him that needs him right now, right? Like,
and that would give us something we'd actually want. We don't want draft picks.
That's what I mean.
Yes. I can't see a fit.
No
out
good
there.
fit.
No,
fit.
Yeah. Sorry, Hey, Nick, if you're watching this, or Jay Swish, if you're watching this, I love you guys. I just don't. I'm not saying that nobody wants you. I'm saying I just don't see a fit out there for like a Nick Schmaltz for a top 4 right-handed shot defenseman, right?
Or for like a second line center. Yeah,
Sure.
it's true. It makes sense.
Nick. Yeah. I don't see Nick Schmaltz being on Minnesota's radar to take for Schmaltz for Rossi. I don't see really. I mean, we've already tapped the Buffalo Sabres well, but I don't see Nick Schmaltz being traded for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen or like a.
He also has trade protection. He's got a no trade as well, so that complicates things too. And I mean, I'd like, might as well keep him, man. You know, he's got the chemistry with Keller, with Hayton. That third line without Doan, suddenly like Daniel Boot, maybe like Krause, McBain, Boot. Oh, bro, deadly. Hey, Finn, welcome, Finn.
Yeah,
Finn is hysterical. I love watching.
Flow. That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting. But
small. He's small.
Yeah. No, Sillinger's not. He's big.
Sillinger?
He's
Who
a
am I
unit.
thinking of?
Ken Johnson? Who am I thinking of?
Yeah, Johnson. You're thinking of Kent Johnson. He's tall but skinny. But yeah, Sillinger's a unit. But I mean, okay, so you draft a center at 4th overall, and then you move a bunch of assets for Sillinger, and then you also have Hayton on the team already. It's like, I don't know, it gets a little crowded there. It gets a little crowded.
I mean, Boo
would be cool, but it's like the same. I'd feel hypocritical when I say like, do we really want to hinge our like a push to the playoffs on just giving a rookie the opportunity to step in and and play meaningful minutes the entire year. Now, he's a different rookie. I mean, he's been playing against men for the last 2 years, and they are expected to get a long, serious look of making the opening night roster. And he's in control of his own destiny at this point. I think that if Boot can step in and just be this monster of a human that can put up insane numbers and skate really well, and be defensive responsibly. Wait, responsible defensively? Golly. Yeah, you know what I meant. Then yeah, problem solved. we've filled the holes internally. That being said, I don't know. I think we are going to see more of a, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Doan's spot be filled via free agency, like a depth winger that's responsible defensively and
Is a battler, right?
But I do think that the hole on right D and in goalie is probably going to have to be addressed via another trade. And what have we been talking about the last like 5 or 6 episodes? What do we have a gaggle of prospects and picks? What did we not trade away for JJ Paterka tonight?
I know.
Prospects and picks.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
We're sitting on so many prospects and picks and have more coming up in this draft. There's probably a good chance that we might see both those holes filled with players that are having a hard time finding space on the Roadrunners roster right now, or one of the 1.5 million second round draft picks that we have in the upcoming drafts. So
one prospect we can't trade now is Julian Lutz. Yeah, he's JJ Paterka's buddy, the German kid, Lutz.
Oh shoot!
Someone pointed that out the other day.
It was Flo. It was Flo. It was Flo. And she says, well, yeah, we do still need a short-term vet. See, that's true. McBain with Krause and Hayton. Or, I mean, Krause, Hayton, and Boot. Move McBain down to the 4th line with Kerfoot and Stenland. Oh.
I do think we need
like a veteran presence.
I don't know.
It's but you gotta keep Lutz around.
Yeah.
I don't know when he'll get a chance to crack the lineup because we're so winger rich suddenly. But he's a versatile player. Struggled to get time a little bit in Tucson this year, but played interpreter for Artem Duda. Lutz is fluent in Russian as well as German, and I think like Italian maybe too, French. I don't know. He knows all the languages.
Yeah,
really interesting kid.
In fairness, I don't think anybody's off the table at this point, man. We just traded
That's
like 2
true.
fan favorites,
I know.
And Lutz is probably one of the more intriguing players in our prospect pool. Maybe Paterka as well. There's
Matt. They did re-sign him. He got 5 years at 7.7. Got a jersey number deal. I don't think that's going to be our last jersey number deal this summer. I could see.
I know.
Logan Cooley signing a 9.2 AAV.
Yeah.
So I think Paterka. That's a steal, Matt. That's a steal. 7.7 on Paterka is a steal. He's betting on himself too. He's looking at himself saying, hey, I'm going to be 28 in 5 years, and I'm going to have just absolutely lit it up in Utah, and I'm going to go sign a mega, mega, mega contract someplace. That's what Paterka's thinking.
That's what it's. I'm glad you said that. There are some players that play this so well with predicting the future and have smart agents that knew, like, hey, take a shorter term deal. Because in X amount of years from now, the cap is going to significantly rise. The one player I think of is Vlad Gavrikov. He bet on himself and said, you know what, I'm gonna sign a shorter term deal in LA. because I know at the end of this contract there is going to be a massive spike with the salary cap, and he played that perfectly. Like, nobody would think that Vlad Gavrikov, a left-hand shot defenseman, I'm bringing him up not because I think Utah is going to sign him. I don't think he's a fit here at all. But you would have never guessed that Gavrikov would be potential like $7.5 to $8 million player a year. But he probably set himself up for that just by signing a shorter term deal. Much like
it was a perfect play. And thinking of perfect players, speaking of perfect players, Chipchura, Moss, Arcabello, Kennedy, these were
Kennedy.
Perfect players. You guys are both disinvited from the draft party. Get the hell out of here with your horrible Chipchura and Moss callbacks. Right. I've got the shakes.
Todd Fedork.
Todd Fedork. Times, they have changed. Times have changed. Spencer, it is real life. And we have got JJ Paterka in the house. And Spencer is a guy who didn't have to suffer through the Chipchura, Moss, and Arcabello era. You sweet, sweet summer child. You've just strolled right in to massive trades for big star players. There he is, Billy Strong Arms. Strong Arms.
Just a freaking unit of a man.
Spencer, we were just debating that a little bit earlier. Not sure, man. Not sure. It depends on what other shoes drop. I don't think we're done. I think right now, if the league just decided they were too terrified of getting victimized by Bill Armstrong and they had to call it quits on tuning up the roster, and we had to go to battle with what we have. We talked about the merits of maybe doing like a kid line, Paterka, Holeee, Gunther, then reuniting Schmaltz and Keller, maybe with Hayton down the middle there, then maybe doing like Krause with McBain and Boot on the third line, and then you've got Kesselring. I'm sorry, R.I.P. You've got Kerfoot with Stenlund, etc.
Too soon, dude. That was too soon.
Yeah. Oh gosh,
nefarious slip.
Rob Klinkhammer.
The Corpedo. I love Lori Korpikoski.
Lori Korpikoski. Oh, boys. Those days are over. Dan Winnick. Yeah.
Dan Winnick. Matthias Scharnquist.
Dan Winnick, the UNH legend. Yep. Dan Winnick.
I don't see a scenario where and I know that line combination, or I'm sorry, like first line to second line doesn't really matter that much in today's NHL just because of how interchangeable they are. But I don't see a scenario where Keller is not playing with the best players on his team. I don't think that you take Keller away from Cooley and Gunther and put him back with Schmaltz, hoping that they rekindle their magic. Keller, being a 90-point scorer, is going to be playing with the best players on the team. So, I don't know. Do you not agree?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Schmaltz had 60 points last season, dude.
I know.
There's just we just have a lot of good players. This has never happened before. I don't know how to act. I don't know what to do with my hands. We've never had a bunch of good players before.
Ew, what is 60 points? This is weird. That's a good point. But I don't. If you think about it, I mean, Cooley and Gunther they both missed time, and their point per game projection was higher than Schmaltz, and they're only getting better. They're only getting more confident. I think Cooley finished with 65. Is that what it was? And Gunther finished with 61. I mean, still better than 60, right?
This time,
yeah. So Pat, we did talk about Ekblad. You might have to run that back a little bit. And
And
Rewatch that part because I do think Trent and I both agree that Ekblad could be a sincere possibility now, even though Armstrong has kind of mentioned that he doesn't really like spending a bunch of money on older people or outside of the age range people in free agency. It could make a lot more sense to sign him to like a shorter term deal, but loads of money.
Ekblad maybe is a guy that you don't go out and go crazy on day one. And if Ekblad's a guy who the league isn't lining up for on the first day, and the offers aren't just absolutely outrageous for him, and he decides to maybe take his time a little bit and look for a good fit, maybe that's a guy that, you're not going to get like a sweetheart deal on Ekblad. That ain't going to happen. You're going to pay good money for him, but you might be able to figure out a way to get him to Utah without going absolutely insane on the deal. And if you can find like a somewhat reasonable way to get him here, that would be fun. Dusty Bones is right though. Michelli's probably out of here. We're probably not done with trades. There probably will be something that happens. 3-putt, I think Simishev's making the team, bro. I do. So I think it's possible that you see someone play their offside to fill in. DeSimone was a good third pairing guy there. So, I mean, does Holeee Mata move over to the right? Does Ian Cole fill in on the right? Or do we bring someone else in? Does Maverick Lamrou earn a spot? I don't know. So many questions left to be answered. It's so early in the offseason still. I say, let's just get through draft week. See what happens. And then it'll be off to free agency. But I am very tired. I still need to take a shower. I got off the ice. I'm getting my gear off from coaching. I'm getting my son situated in the locker room. He's throwing snowballs at me. I'm flipping him upside down and throwing rib punches right between his 5th and 7th rib, trying to knock the wind out of the little rascal. It's just full on shenanigans in the locker room. My phone falls out of my coaching jacket. I pick it up and I see, guys, we got Paterka. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. What a night to remember. A night I'm ready to end on a high note. Anything?
No, I just feel so bad. Like I'm still at work, and these people keep walking by. We have this window, and they're sitting there like asking me. I'm like, nah, dude, we've been closed for like 2 hours. But it's so funny that people want to come in here and drink. Almost let them at this point because I'm how happy I am. But yeah, I got a lot of work to do still. Anybody that's worked in the service industry knows that as soon as you flip on the lights, then the real work starts. Then you got to start closing the bar down. So I may not be out of here for a while, but we couldn't say no. I'm sorry if this was a sloppy episode. I'm still trying to gather my thoughts. Literally just finished a long shift and decided to mix in a beer with that too. So overall, though, how could we not jump on and talk about this? This is an incredible move, guys, and this really, really sets the tone. The good news about all this is, as much as we try to wrap our head around what we want to do with this roster, all we have to do is sit back, kick our feet up, and watch Bill Armstrong go to work. And it's just begun. So super excited.
Yep. And thanks everybody for joining us for the not so clean hits after dark, the emergency TradeCast. We had, over 700 people jump on with us, even though it's nearly midnight in Utah. So appreciate everybody joining in the fun. If you're not in the conversation in our Discord, what the heck are you doing? Get in there, join the Discord. It's free. It's the best place on the entire internet to talk about the Utah Mammoth. If you're not in there, you are 100% missing out. This is the perfect time to join. It's buzzing. Get in there in time to talk about this trade as late as you want, you sickos. I'm sure they're going to be in there doing it till 3 a.m. And it's going to be the place to be for draft night, too, if you can't make it out to Gilbert. So Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Really appreciate the 720 plus people that were here, and we'll
720 is insane, guys. Thank you so much. That's crazy. But yes,
Yep.
Go ahead, Trent. Sorry.
And we'll be doing one more podcast tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon. Getting primed for the draft. So so many exciting things to come here at Clean Hits and in the Mammoth verse as well. And yeah,
Like it.
hell yeah. I don't really know how to end it. Save me, Kenny.
That's it, guys. Tune in. Buckle up. This is going to be crazy. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And we will chat with you soon.
See ya.